Hi, my name is Teresa. Welcome to my channel, and today I'm going to talk about why I am no longer vegan. So, I was vegan for 3 full years. I tried to be vegan for another year after that, and then I could no longer be vegan. And before you tell me, that is a cop out, I would like to say, no, it's not. It's really not. I genuinely tried for a year. So I have discussed in the past couple of videos about the chronic illnesses that I've dealt with. And I want to say this first. None of the illnesses that I deal with were caused by being vegan. They're not caused. I wasn't nutritionally deficient, and none of these illnesses are caused by nutrient deficiency. I'm not nutrient deficient now. I deal some with anemia, which is hilarious now that I'm not vegan. I struggle with having good iron levels. It's hilarious to me. This was not an issue before, and I take iron. I've taken iron probably since I was pregnant. So I just took it, and as long as my iron was good, I kept taking it. I never had high iron levels, so I figured I needed it. And even with taking it, I still sometimes have low iron levels. It's so dumb. But I didn't while I was vegan. So nothing that has happened to my body was because I was vegan 3 years. None of it. But because of the things that have happened to my body, slowly I came to the realization that it was not feasibly possible for me as a wife and a mom and a person who is chronically ill to be able to keep up with that diet. I do see a world where I make a lot of money and I can pay somebody else to feed me and help me take care of my child. That, I could be vegan again, because I do actually want to. I think, could I be vegan again? I don't know. So let's talk about why I'm not vegan. So first, IC. I talked about how IC is interstitial cystitis. It's a condition that causes your bladder to be inflamed, and it feels like you have to go to the bathroom all of the time. Well, there's a special diet for that. You can be vegan and have IC. IC limits your diets in such a way where it is very difficult. My diet is still limited even though I am not vegan, but it's much more limited. And with being vegan, you want to eat a wide variety of fruits and vegetables, of protein sources, to make sure that you're getting all of your nutrients and things. Well, I could not do that, and I also can't take a multivitamin. Fun fact, the potassium and vitamin C and multivitamins irritate my bladder, and so I haven't taken a multivitamin for 2 years. I also tried to continue to take a multivitamin. I tried a couple of different ones. There may be some that work. I may look into trying to find another one again. I didn't find one in the 6 months that I kept trying to find one. And so it leaves you trying to create a balanced diet from a very limited selection of things that generally it is difficult to make a complete nutritious diet out of. All of the things that are left that you can eat without issue are very healthy, but by themselves or in the combination that you can make them, it is difficult. Fast forward a year and a half to fibromyalgia and the IBS symptoms that go along with it. Many of those things that I'm going to turn. So fast forward, and many fast forward to IBS symptoms that go along with fibromyalgia. Many of the foods that were left on the IC diet that I could eat, many of the foods that were left on the IC diet that I could eat that were vegan and great protein sources were, they were 5 minutes that irritated me. Like, I can't sit up there and eat a bowl of beans. Red lentils are great for iron, and that's might be another reason why I am dealing with anemia, because red lentils were something that we ate at least once a week. And I literally cannot eat red lentils anymore. Not unless I want to be in pain for the next 2 days. And for me, it's just not worth it. So yeah, sometimes I still have red lentils because there are a couple of things that I like in them. That it's a complicated mixed bag when you're dealing with a limited diet. But yeah, and so it got to a point where I was just like, with what I have left to do, if I am trying to work towards health, with the list of foods that I have left to do to make that work towards health with, like, it did not make logical sense for me to continue to try to limit my diet to being vegan. Most processed foods were out with IC. Most protein sources are out with, protein and iron sources are out with fibro. Lots of leafy greens and things can I eat. It's just difficult. And so even not being vegan, it is very difficult to eat a nutritious diet. I've gained a lot of weight. I'm working with a nutritionist now to help me to eat well and also eat appropriate to the foods that I can eat well. And it is difficult. There are a couple times in our sessions where she'd be like, well, you could eat this and this, and I can't eat two of the things that she just said. And she was like, well, what can you eat? What can we substitute? Like, it literally takes two people trying to figure out what I can eat in a day. And a lot of the times, for me, it is simpler just to come up with some things that I can eat and eat those repetitively. It sounds boring. It is. It's a very boring way to eat. Funny enough, chicken is one of those things that I can eat. And so I eat a lot of chicken. I can't eat a lot of tofu. Tofu is one of those things where it meets IC, but it doesn't always meet IBS. It meets IBS in a moderation. Meat substitutes are no beans, dear Lord. Just nuts. Some irritate my bladder, some don't. Some irritate my bowels, some don't. The list doesn't correlate. It's a lot, and I got tired of dealing with it, so much to the point where there were a couple months where I was just eating chicken fingers every day. Not totally proud of it. Cane's. I cannot go to Cane's now and enjoy the meal. But for a couple of months, literally, I just had a box. That may have been all I eaten that day. A couple more months, it was just sandwiches, ham and mustard, and arugula, because cheese irritates me. It was just awful. It's totally awful. I wish I could explain it to you in a way that would ingrain some sort of sympathy, but I don't expect sympathy. It's the truth, though. Like, for me, eating became such a challenge that it was affecting my mental health because I could not find a way that would eat that didn't cause me pain in some way. And for a while, I did try. So after I was diagnosed with IC at the end of 2019, I realized that it was the first time I was like, hey, because up until I was diagnosed, I was like, hey, like, whatever, it's not what I'm eating that's irritating my bladder even more. It was. And so when I made the first adjustments, I would just buy the things that I could eat and make meals out of that. Now, there are two other people in my house, my daughter and my husband, and they went along with it as long as they could go out to eat a couple times a week and get what they wanted, which is fine, whatever. Um, that was a good stopgap until I could get to a better solution, but there just was no better solution. And I think that, well, the better solution would be to have somebody else worry about it so I could live my life and not make a life out of trying to plan meals. Um, but then I started doing as many vegan meals as I could. And then if I were tired, I would eat out and eat whatever didn't hurt my bladder. And if I just need to cook something quick because you can't eat out all the time, that's not healthy, I would cook whatever I could cook that wouldn't irritate my bladder. And so that was kind of where I was. And then too, I was going around that time. That was January, February, March of 2020, the beginning of the pandemic. Kid is at home. I am now teacher and therapist for speech and OT and ABA. Oh, it was a hard few months. And then at the beginning of the year, my dad was sick, so I was back and forth. It was just a lot going on. And so it was just do the best you can. And then after March, I kept having some issues. And that's when I realized it was the meat substitutes and beans that were the major issues. And when I didn't eat those, I felt better. And I was just like, well, what the heck am I supposed to do? If I can't eat beans, how am I going to eat beans? How am I going to be vegan? Like, and a healthy vegan. I could even be an unhealthy vegan because I couldn't like eat the faux meats from the freezer. Just a mess. Now, I know there are a couple now that I can eat. Pretty much everybody's beefless grounds I can eat. Not all of them I like, but pretty much all of the beefless grounds I can eat. Tofu. Some chicken nuggets, not all of them. I'm trying to think. That's about it. Chicken. I can't do red meat because of IBS. Because it's too greasy. And I never could do a lot of greasy stuff anyway. That's about it. Turkey. But do people really like turkey? I've always wondered that. I can technically have a ham. I don't consider that a healthy option, so it's not something that, processed meats are not good for you. And so I wouldn't, even though that is another option, I wouldn't consider that a healthy swap. So yeah, like I just have a really limited diet and I don't have the time or energy or finances to cater to that diet being solely vegan. And that was a long way of how I got to that explanation. It took me about a year though. Am I happy with where I landed? No. I wish I didn't have IC or IBS or get really stressed out about trying to figure out what to eat. But I do. Or I wish I had enough money to pay somebody to like feed me, or those meal options. I really thought about like, daily harvest and those things. It'd be a great way to lose weight too, to like get meals delivered to the house. But like, it's not just me. Like I would have to spend our monthly budget on those meals just for me, and another monthly budget for food on buying food for the house so I could cook for my husband and my daughter, which I would do if I had the money, but I don't. I also don't work because I have a daughter with special needs, and I am also dealing with chronic illness. So there you go. But hopefully, I have not offended everyone who is subscribed to my channel. I did not start this off as a vegan channel. I didn't land there when I went vegan. And I recognize there are a lot of people who are here because of those videos. Not all of you, but there are a lot of you. I did a lot of meal prep videos, and I think a lot of you love that as well. I don't do meal prep videos anymore because I don't have the energy to meal prep. I may do one every now and then though. My focus on food is so much different. Like it is second. There's a priority list. There's an important list that I get to when I've reached everything on the priority list and I still have energy. And then there's a secondary list, and food is on the secondary list. Food has to be simple, it has to be nutritious, and it has to be something that does not cause me pain, but it does not have to be vegan. And that is just where I have had to end up for sanity's sake. That's just where I am. I'll talk more about working with a nutritionist for health goals and because of dietary restrictions. And maybe I'll show a couple of what I eat in the days to kind of give you a heads up as to what I'm doing now. But for right now, that's where it is. Hopefully you're not too offended. I love you guys, but I still eat some meat products because health? I don't know. Or the lack thereof. That might be a better reason. Thank you so much for watching. If you like, subscribe. Too much to ask. I know I'm disappointed in many of you. If not, I wish you well. Hope you can do the same thing for me. And comment down below if you have any questions or if there's anything you want to say. And if that's it, see you next time.